All right, so this morning we're going to talk about Saganought. This deck is by Harain, friend of the show, someone we've had on before, and it's a deck that I've been sort of looking at as if Nadu gets banned before Eternal Weekend, I would probably look to play a deck like this. It has all the hallmarks of the decks that I like to play, which is it's playing Urza Saga bonus, it's playing Ancient Tomb here. It has a fast combo kill, but it also has control hallmarks in it, like Swords of Plowshares, Force of Will, Brainstorm, that sort of stuff. And a bonus is that this deck has extra power against decks like Cephalid Breakfast, decks like Doomsday with their Dress Downs and Topor Orbs to turn on your Phyrexian Dreadnoughts. You're playing Null Drifter as your other beater, Ponder, Stock Up, Brainstorm, Force of Will, Spell Pierce, 2 Spell Pierce, 4 Swords of Plowshares, and then you have a little bit of a package for your Urza Saga with Lightning Greaves, Lotus Petal, Mox Diamond. Topor Orb is obviously not for the Saga, that's for the Dreadnoughts and Dress Downs. And then land mana base is a little wonky, but we're looking at 4 Ancient Tombs, 4 Flooded Strands, 1 Island, 1 Meticulous Archive, 1 Otawara, the Soaring City, and 1 Plains, 3 Polluted Deltas. We got Tundra, 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 and Urza Saga. In the sideboard, we've got some fun cards in the sideboard here, like Wrath of the Skies, Rest in Peace, which is an old friend, but we haven't seen for a while. 1 Prismatic Ending, 2 Path to Exile, a Meddling Mage, 2 Hydroblast, 2 Hull Breacher, Graft Digger's Cage, Force of Negation, 1 Consigned to Memory, which does double duty out of the board to help out your triggers with a Null Drifter or Phyrexian Dreadnought, and 2 Clarion Collars, which, Clarion Collar is really cool, very interesting card, stops Planeswalkers, but remember, this is activated abilities, not triggered abilities. You can't throw your Phyrexian Dreadnought into play with one of these in and hope that it sticks. It's not going to stick. But with that said, let's get into a league. Finding the right high-end cards for legacy, vintage, pre-modern, or old-school Magic can be challenging. That's where friends 3-for-1 trading come in.
3-for-1 Trading is one of Europe's top Magic the Gathering retailers with an incredible selection of premium singles, sealed product, and even full sets, all available with free, fast, and secure worldwide shipping.
They add fresh inventory every Wednesday with weekly deals and discounts. So whether you're hunting for that elusive piece of power, a legacy staple, or something spicy for your collection, they've got you covered.
First high-end orders over $500 or 500 euros, use the code EDFREE to get free worldwide shipping.
Check them out now at the number 3, the number 4, the number 1.gg/ED. That link takes you right to the shop and helps support the channel.
Huge thanks to 3-for-1 Trading for supporting the legacy community. Now back to the show.
We won the die roll. This is interesting because we could show ourselves as an Urza Saga deck, and let's try this. Because we could show ourselves as an Urza Saga deck. If we end up getting a enabler, we can just get our Phyrexian Dreadnought, and we already have the Lava Spur boots. So let's try this and see what happens. We're going to keep. We're still testing out how we feel about this deck. So doing something like this is interesting because it allows us to try and see how our opponent deals with the deck. So just going with the Urza Saga plan that, like, if we luck out and get something that we can cast to make the Phyrexian Dreadnought good, then we are set. Otherwise, we're just Saga Beatdown, and that's also kind of fine. Okay. So we're going to play Urza Saga. We'll play a Mox Diamond. Right now, the opponent probably thinks that we're on lands. So we've got that going for us as well. We'll get rid of this. Then let's play Lava Spur Boots, and we'll pass turn. This isn't bad because now we have something that can deal with creatures and something that can deal with non-creatures in our hand, as well as big mana with the Balance Tomb to start pumping out construct tokens. And my opponent is going to play a slow land. Meticulous Archive, Surveil, keeping it on top. So we'll play a Balance Tomb, and we are actually going to make a construct right now because we can equip it and attack. And why not, right? Now, we're shields down so that's rough, but we do want to clock our opponent here. We also have, oof, this is not looking great for our opponent. You know where you don't want to be as the control deck? Playing tap lands against a deck that is powering out uncounterable constructs. Things look bad for our opponent. Solitude. Solitude will get the construct off the board. They can pay the 1. All right. Now, we're going to untap. We are going to create. Yeah, we'll pay the 2. I think what we want to get here is Lotus Petal. Obviously, it's our last artifact that's left. We're going to put this on top of the construct, giving it haste, and let's just keep swinging in. Would have been very tough for our opponent to deal with another 4/4. This would have been 6 damage. We have a Spell Pierce that we can cast if we have to, or a Force if we just need to pitch something to force. Looking not great for our opponent, though. All right. Think we do want to play this Tundra. We're just going to attack. All right, putting them down to 6. A weird hand, but I think this was just fine. Now we have the tempo play of Spell Pierce if we need to counter something. I don't know what they could possibly do that will get them back into this game. Uro, maybe. Uro. I think it's worth countering Uro here just to set them back, right? They don't get to draw a card. They also don't get to put another land into play, possibly getting to where they want to go. Okay, so they get the Uro. I think it's worth it to let them have to cast Uro next turn, because we can always Swords it if we need to. See what we draw next turn. All right, we've got a Force of Will. We can hard cast Force of Will, which is pretty amazing. So we'll attack. All right, if we have to, we can hard cast a Force of Will. Going for the fetch. They need to cast Uro. So if we Force of Will the Uro, that should kill them. Ponder. Okay. Going for the Ponder instead. I don't even know. Is Escape a cast trigger? You may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. Yeah. So we could counter that with Force of Will. Ponder's fine. You know, one of the things I really love about this deck is being able to play Ancient Tomb and Urza Saga and just making that part of your plan. I really love playing Urza Saga. I think it's one of the more interesting cards to come out in several years, even though it is super powerful. I know Phil hates it, but I don't know. I really like it. Untap. We'll play that land. We're going to attack in. Endurance. I'll just counter Endurance and swing it in. All right, we got that one. Pretty good. Okay, we kind of have an idea what they're up to. So let's think about some stuff here. I like Hull Breachers here. I like, man, Meddling Mage might be interesting, but I don't honestly think it's that good. Prismatic Ending is a hedge against something. I'm not quite sure what that something is yet. Let's see here. Don't think we need the Force of Negation. All right. If we're going to do that, let's... So my opponent has not seen any of the Phyrexian Dreadnought package here, right? Don't know that Spell Pierce is where I want to be specifically. Think just stopping him from being able to use to get value out of his Uros might be worth it. Let's get rid of this Prismatic Ending for now. We'll try this and see if we want to pivot from there. This is an interesting opener. We have turn 2 stock up, which is fine. Let's keep this. Okay. Let's play a Tundra. I'm going to play a Mox Diamond again. We get rid of Odawara here. And I'll play the Lava Spur Boots now. I'm going to save the Brainstorm and pass turn. More than likely, we're going to stock up at the end of, or at the start of next turn. Wow. Not great for my opponent. Let's try and see if we can do anything about this Beanstalk, but at the end of the day, Beanstalk's a bit slow for us. Ooh, that is nice. Okay, so we're going to put back Flooded Strand and then stock up. On our turn 2, we're going to play the Urza Saga. Just be right back on that plan to make them lose their hand to our Urza Saga. Now, we're going to cast stock up right now. This is the best time for us to do it. If they have a counterspell, they're going to want to play it right now. Wow. Okay. I'll take Dreadnought press down, right? And we'll do force. It doesn't really matter. Any order is fine. It's not going to change anything. So we can do any order. It's not going to really matter. Got the Phyrexian Dreadnought and the dress down. That's all we really need. And then we will pass turn. Now we have two ways to deal with our opponent. We have two ways to deal with our opponent here, and we can just play the Phyrexian Dreadnought plan, especially if they go shields down at any point in time. That allows us to just slam for like 13 damage. Okay. Opponent's going to go with the tried and true method of getting rid of our Urza Saga, which I think is honestly not the worst idea. Okay. So that opens us up for Balin's Tomb, Toper Orb, or, wow. Okay, so let's play the Toper Orb, right? And then we'll play the Phyrexian Dreadnought and pass turn. It'd be nice if we had the extra mana to suit up the boots. And maybe they have a swords. That's okay, because we're going to pull up a Null Drifter right after that. Really pressuring them on a lot of fronts, and they still don't have access to blue mana, which is got to be upsetting. All right, we'll untap. There's that swords. We'll allow it. There's another Toper Orb. We're going to play Null Drifter. Draw 2 cards. Great. And we have a Null Drifter in play now, putting the opponent in a pretty awkward spot. We're going to put that in the graveyard. We don't need that. Now we are playing the Annihilator game. Would have been great, again, if we could have put a Lava Spur Boots onto the Null Drifter, but okay, now they've got a blue mana, finally. If we get to attack with Null Drifter, we're doing great. Null Drifter effectively an Ancestral Recall at that point. Energy Flux. Okay. I don't think we care about any of our artifacts at this point. If we really need to, we can get rid of... all right. So I'm going to say okay. And I'm going to say no to paying 2. And I will say no to paying 2 for that as well. Great. So let's attack. Let's ponder here. Hold on. We got to deal the damage first. Okay. Now let's ponder. I think we're happy to see anything else, honestly. Force of Will's great. So, from here, I think we'll pass turn. If the opponent had a Swords Plowshares, they would have used it here. So, we've got that going for us for sure. It's going to be hard to keep up with the value of me attacking and them having to lose a land every turn. Fairy Time Raveler. Well, I think we're going to counter that, right? We kind of have to. We'll put a land into play, and we're going to attack again. Got that Annihilator trigger. And from here, we pass turn. We always have the option of brainstorming if we need to. Opponent brainstorms, probably praying for a way out of this. Krakus is not going to do it for him. All right. Flooded Strand is interesting. I'm going to play it because it would be nice to... So taking 4 every turn, probably not where my opponent wants to be anyhow. But now that I have the Brainstorm Toper Orb, I'm in a pretty good spot here to just continue to ride it out. Sure. Gain 3 life. They're never going to have another land in play, so I don't really have to worry about Uro so much. In a turn, I am going to Brainstorm now since they're tapped out. Sick. Okay, we're going to put the Plains, then the Tundra. Then we'll untap. We're going to draw the Tundra. I'm going to cast Stock Up, Phyrexian Dreadnought, and Grafdigger's Cage. These can go in any order. I don't care. Okay, now I can do so many cool things here. Let's just make sure that we have the mana to do it. So let's go ahead and fetch. We'll go ahead and get a Plains. Start with a Grafdigger's Cage. Then we'll cast Toper Orb. Then we'll cast Phyrexian Dreadnought. And we're going to attack. Opponent is going to lose another land. And I think that should be game. I can't imagine we don't win this. Already got to get rid of the Phyrexian Dreadnought. Yeah, we got it. Cool. Hey, Legacy fans. Since you're enjoying the show, please like and subscribe to the video. It helps the channel grow.
Support Eternal Turtles on Patreon so we can create even more content and cover events.
Patreons get an ad-free RSS feed, 4 bonus episodes a month, and Discord recognition. Join the Dirtle Maniacs at patreon.com/EternalDurtles.
Now back to the show.
We're on the play. A little bit of an awkward hand here, but I think we can throw our Tundra away and play this Mox Diamond early. So let's keep. You're going to mulligan to 6 cards. Always love a ponder. Okay, here we go. Let's start with a Mox Diamond. All right, we'll throw this Tundra away. And let's cast a ponder. Ooh, like that. Let's do Urza Saga on our next turn. We can actually Urza Saga now, which is pretty amazing. Urza Saga now would be a mistake. So let's do a Meticulous Archive. I don't think we need the Force of Will right now. We're going to put that in our graveyard. And we'll pass turn. We still have the Brainstorm and the Fetch to sculpt our hand a little bit. Oh, yeah, that's what we like to see. Looks like we're playing into Death and Taxes, which I think we're amazing against. So let's throw down the Urza Saga and just pass turn. Okay, Sylvan Library. I don't know if we really want Sylvan Library in play. There's a Spell Pierce. That's great. So let's let's put these lands back. Good God. And we're going to Spell Pierce the Sylvan Library. All right. We'll untap. All right. Let's throw down Swiftfoot Boots. From there, we're going to pass turn. We are going to shuffle away our land that's on top of the deck here. Another Sylvan Library. Well, they're going to get that one. I'm going to have to give it to them. All right. End of turn. Let's shuffle that away. Going to get a Tundra. Let's make a token. There we go. Untap. We're going to make another token. Let's do it with that. And what do we want to find? Not a Phyrexian Dreadnought, obviously. Let's take a Lotus Petal here. Because Dreadnought's not doing it for us right now. We're going to suit this guy up, and we're going to come in attacking for 11. And we have the Spell Pierce if we need it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, opponent's going to get to see 3 cards. We have a Force of Will and a Spell Pierce, so things are looking mighty good for us. Elvish Reclaimer. Let's get rid of Elvish Reclaimer. I don't necessarily like the idea that Elvish Reclaimer gets to be in play. That can put our opponent in a situation where they just lose the game too. You may have this enter as a copy of any card in the graveyard. Okay. Looks like they're going to need yeah. That still should be game for them. Unless they can untap it somehow. All right. Well, we're going to attack in. We keep drawing lands, which kind of stinks. But let's get to work. Yeah, there's a Swords. Hate to see it. All right, we're going to play the Flooded Strand. Just so that we can shuffle away something if we get a Brainstorm. Opponent's in a pretty risky position to be drawing extra cards, obviously. They're short on mana. All right, here we go. Played a Windswept Heath and passed. Dress Down. Dress Down's interesting. Not something we need right now. We're going to come in. Just keep attacking, right? And a Swords. We'll let that happen. We have to. Paid the extra 1. Okay, well, any threat we get pretty much will end the game for them here. There's not a lot they can do to stop us, so we just have to find another threat. Now all they get from this Sylvan Library is selection. Elvish Reclaimer. We do not want to see Elvish Reclaimer in play, but they don't have... Still drawing a lot of extra lands here. We're going to keep that one in our hand. This is rough as we came in pretty hot, and now we're going to be suffering for it. I think it was correct to get rid of the Elvish Reclaimer, shuffling for a Savannah to get rid of the cards that are on top that are worthless to them. I'd like to see a Null Drifter here. Be excellent. Okay, another Elvish Reclaimer. Okay, well, there's that Null Drifter I was talking about. Okay, so let's play a Polluted Delta. Let's throw down this Dress Down. This is their chance to use their Elvish Reclaimers. Okay. I'm going to fetch a land. Let's get a Plains, and I'll get a Island, right? Okay. Then we will play our old friend Null Drifter. Draw 2 more cards. Those are 2 great Magic cards. All right. We're going to Slap that on him. And we're coming in for the attack. Got it. Amazing. All right. So we're playing against a deck that has activated abilities. Certainly a bunch of weenies that we can get rid of. Those are good. Path to Exile might be worth bringing in here over the stock ups. Sorry, over the stock ups, over the spell pierces, I think. Let's get rid of these spell pierces. And I think that's okay. So let's see what we're going to remove. If we want to remove anything. Let's get rid of a Lotus Petal. We don't need to be the fastest deck in the field. I think we can... let's keep the Toper Orb in. I don't know that there's a lot that we have to counter, per se. We'll remove a Force of Will and a Stock Up. We need to take out one more card. Let's make it... Let's do that. Ew. This is no good. One land with a Meticulous Archive. I think we have to mulligan this. This is better. And I'm going to keep this. We're going to get rid of the Toper Orb, I think. I think that's the best plan here. Well, we got one. We got another one anyhow. So let's do a Flooded Strand, Snag an Island, and Ponder. I like Swords to Plowshares here. Okay, so let's do Null Drifter, Swords, Tundra. We'll draw the Tundra, and then we will pass turn. Okay. We have a Thespian's Stage. We will play a land. Let's just run out a Toper Orb and make them deal with the Toper Orb. Torpor Orb. Torpor. As we will come in with the Null Drifter, I think, next turn, and just make that our thing. Now, we've got a Thespian Stage. This is sacrifice this creature, destroy an artifact to pay 1. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Obviously, our opponent is on a thing. So let's play this. We're going to make them use it. Let's make them use it. We're going to cast by doing the Evoke. They're, of course, going to use it to get rid of the Torpor Orb, which is fine. We just drew 2 more cards. So that's okay. And that dies. Okay. Now, we could have played the Phyrexian Dreadnought, but I think that it's better for us to just stick to the Urza Saga plan for now. We have the Swords of Plowshares to kill whatever the Thespian Stage. Green Sun Zenith, X equals 1. Yeah, we're just going to get rid of that. Okay, so love that. Let's just kill that now. Can't counter it either. So that's rough. 2. From there, we're going to play a land. And let's play Phyrexian Dreadnought. I'll get a Tundra. And I will play Dress Down using the Phyrexian Dreadnought. Draw a card. It's a blue card. That's wonderful. We're not going to do that. Wait, what? Well, we've learned a valuable lesson there. Got to do that first. I should have known that. Yep, that was pretty dumb. We're going to play this out just to see what the opponent is on. Wow, that was pretty dumb. Learned a valuable lesson there. Okay, let's just absolutely counter that. Man, that was tough. We did everything wrong there. Okay, rest in peace. Yes, there's the other one. We'll get a Mox Diamond. We'll throw that out. And we'll play Rest in Peace just to keep things out of their grip. This is a rough one. We've made some mistakes, but we're not out of the game completely yet. Okay, so another Toper Orb. Not great. All right, we're going to attack. Opponent takes the 2. If it's a Dark Depths, we'll concede. I think we probably would have lost this either way, but very important timing situation there for the Phyrexian Dreadnought. I just wasn't thinking. I was like, yeah, that just turns it off. But that's not how that works at all. Okay, got a Yavimaya. Sensibly because they have a Legolas's Quick Reflexes and probably want to use it to protect their 2020, right? Another 1/2. All right, so we have the swords, which is good. Let's keep attacking in. Probably should have played a Toper Orb here. Yeah. Let's chuck one out just for the fun of it and pass. Choke. Choke's fine. Choke doesn't do anything to me that I'm worried about. Coming in. All right. I have a Balin's Tomb. I will. Actually, let's not produce. We're going to produce green mana. here for another Toper Orb. It's 4/4 beatdown city, boys. I'm just gonna make it work. I suspect they're trying to find a Legolas's quick reflexes. Well, hate that, but it is what it is. So what I need is something big. Can we get something big? Flooded Strand, not something big. Coming in. Needs to be careful about my lands, but yeah. Coming in, destroy a enchantment. Okay, they're gonna destroy the interesting. All right. Another Balance Tomb. That's not great. All right, let's kill. Let's not do that. We're gonna attack first. Let's attack. All right, at 3. Then we're gonna fetch. We'll get that plains we've always been looking for. And we will use this plains to kill this guy. Which they'll use to kill probably my construct here. Yeah, kill the construct. Can't have them attacking and killing an artifact every turn. Now seems like a great time to get the Dark Depths. No, Ruins of Trocheor. What are you doing? I need Flagstones of Trocheor is a wild choice. Okay, stock up. We're doing it. We're paying the mana for stock up. Okay, so, well, there it is. Lava Spur Boots and Phyrexian Dreadnought. Right? These cards at the bottom of my library in any order. We'll do 1, 2, 3. Right? Okay. Now, put a Lava Spur Boots into play. Let's put a Phyrexian Dreadnought into play. Did I get there? I feel like you have to have a Talon Gate in your deck, right? Make it hard to kill them. Okay. Well, I've still got, that gives me a lot more time. Will they get a 20/20? It is not a Dark Depths. Interesting. Another Flagstones of Trocheor. There's a Dark Depths. All right. Now, I need, whoa. Gonna have to wait on that one. There we go. All right, we're gonna call that one. I might have been able to get there the second time around there, but definitely screwed some stuff up there. Okay, so let's just try this again. I think this hand is actually fine. We just need to be a little smarter about how we play our cards. Learned a valuable lesson right off the bat. Don't be the idiot who plays Dress Down and Phyrexian Dreadnought out of order. One's got to come in first. I knew that. That's the worst part. Is like that's a very obvious bonehead move there. All right. 1 die roll. Play first. I will. Okay. Ooh, Clarion Collar is interesting. Okay. I like this. We're gonna keep it. Right, we're gonna start with a ponder. Urza Saga Balance Tomb. Pretty sweet. Let's do. Gotta wait till the third turn for Urza Saga if I play a Balance Tomb. Okay, so we're gonna do. Do we want any of these cards? Yeah, we do. Okay, we definitely do. Let's do Swords, Balance Tomb, Urza Saga, and pass. And then next turn, we will play a Clarion Conqueror. We will not, because we do not have the white mana. Because we keep drawing Meticulous Archive instead of a Tundra. All right. So they're going to start with their Dryad Arbor opener. I think we want to play. So let's brainstorm here. Here we go. Okay. So let's do. What are we going to put back? Let's put back, man, Otawara Swords. No, Swords, Otawara. Like that. Then we're going to play a land. It's going to be Toper Orb. And we're just going to pass. We've got a Sajiri Step, gain protection. They're in trouble with mana, it seems like. You would never, there's a Sylvan Safekeeper. Okay, don't love that. But we do have a way around our Sylvan Safekeeper. So there is that going on for us. We're just going to keep that on top. We could bounce that, huh? We couldn't bounce that. We need 4 mana to do that. So we're just going to play Phyrexian Dreadnought. Yep. Expected. But now we're safe against being hit by a 2020, I suppose. Next turn, we're going to put down Clarion Conqueror. Wasteland. Don't love that. Okay, Wasteland. Doing a Green Suns for 2. Okay, pretty good. Attacking in. You got it. All right. They don't know I have a Clarion Conqueror, which is pretty sweet. We're going to play that. That'll stop any shenanigans from my opponent's creatures. Yeah, this is a thinker. Got to get rid of that. Got to do it now. Okay. Famously, not an artifact. So, artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers. So, I get to activate my Urza Saga next turn, which is hype. And then I'll pass. Now, my opponent just has a couple of 1/1s on the board. Will they decide to get rid of? Okay. That is a legitimate non-activated ability. Okay, dress down, huh? Yeah, we'll let that go to 2, of course. I will be attacking, coming up in the air, getting that damage. All right. From there, I'm going to go ahead and pass turn. Wasteland's in an awkward position for my opponent. I'll go ahead and make a guy. And you got it. I could have bounced it to my hand, which would have been interesting. All right. What do we think about just trying it out? Swinging in hard. Seeing what happens. I should have played the dress down against my opponent when he played the Wasteland effect, because we're going to be in trouble soon. Wasn't really thinking about the Ramanop with the Wasteland, but definitely need to get rid of the Ramanop if I want to play Magic anymore. Nice. Okay, so we're definitely going to get rid of the Ramanop. Looks like my opponent's taking a little bit of a break. Swinging in. Why not, right? Make this a race. Fetching Forest. This goes away. Untap. Let's think about this. I'm going to cast. We're going to get rid of the Soaring City. That was a mistake on so many levels. I'm glad I did not screw that up. Definitely glad to be getting rid of that. Pretty dumb that I didn't think about that when I played it. Of course, Legolas's quick reflexes is a problem for me. Woof. All right. Well, we're going to keep attacking. Pray that we can get there. That's rough. Didn't think about our artifact not working with our Clarion Conqueror. So it would have been fortunate to continue to have access to that land. That's rough. I don't think it would have changed anything here, but it would have been nice to be able to use it later. So I'm assuming my opponent is going to pull in with a Wasteland, which will rough me up. There's the Wasteland, taking the white mana. All right, we're in a race. Several things I could have done here to still have land in play. One of them would have been in response to the Wasteland. I should have played the dress down. That would have kept the Ramanop Excavator from bringing back a Wasteland the second time during that turn. Just wasn't really thinking about that as a thing that could happen. Sort of locking myself down here. We're all very aware of Legolas's quick reflexes as a card that they can use to screw us. Force of Will. Not a great card right now. Not a card I want to play. We're both... So he's on a 4-turn clock. I'm on a 5-turn clock right now. If nothing changes, I assume something's going to change. There's a Wasteland. Get the Balance Tomb. Doesn't change much for me. This puts me on a 4-turn clock still, right? They can come in for 5. That'll put me to 8. That'll put me to 3. I'm still in the lead here. There we go. That's what I like to see. All right. We're going to get a Plains. Now we don't actually care about the Ramanop. Or do we? Maybe we do care about the Ramanop. I'm going to kill the Ramanop just because they can continue to put more... They can use their lands effectively, and I don't think that that's what I want happening right now. Another... Legolas's quick reflexes. Oh no, crop rotation. Which is also not great for me. Talon Gates. Okay. You saved him with the Talon Gates. Okay. Looks like 2-turn clock for me. After smart play of Elvish Reclaimer, right? Gets you up to that amount that the Elvish Reclaimer needs to have a bonus to 2-turn clock versus a 2-turn clock. My opponent cannot remove this. Oh, there's the fight. Yep. It's going to kill my Clarion Conqueror, which is going to be a problem for me. Now the attack. Yep. Fights the Clarion Conqueror. Boom. That hurts. Very good. Got some removal out of it. I don't know what I could possibly get to stay in this game, but we're going to find out. A swords would be great right now. What is this giant thing? 3. I don't like that at all. In trouble. Okay. Yeah, that's a problem. I don't think I can win at any stage here. Yeah, they got us. Eternal Dirtles is proud to be sponsored by Moxfield. Moxfield is the best Magic the Gathering deck building website on the internet. You can create, share, and find decks from Commander to Legacy and even fan-supported formats like Pre-Modern and Old School. You can see all of our decks on our Moxfield. Follow the links below to stay tuned. All right, so we're on the draw this time. I'm totally cool with this as an opener. We've got Urza Saga, we've got Stock Up, we've got Brainstorm, Ponder. Plenty of ways to find an enabler for this Phyrexian Dreadnought. So we're going to keep this. I think we'll start with an island like cowards. Oof, mulligans to 5. Umi Satori. Mulligans to 4. Are we playing against Oops All Spells at mulligans to 4? Man, now I really wish I would have mulligan to a Force of Will. All right, here we go. Once upon a time. Mulligans to 4. Yikes. Mulligans to 4 fails to find. Good Lord. Dark. I'm going to do a ponder here. I don't know what my opponent's doing, but I really don't like it. We're going to... Okay. We're going to do that and keep a creature just in case, because I think creatures are the things I actually have to be worried about with this particular opponent. If you're playing Once Upon a Time, man, didn't get a land, didn't see a land in the next set of cards. That's rough. Okay. Let's play a Tundra, and we're going to brainstorm. There's that dress down I want. All right, we're going to put back these 2 lands, and we'll pass turn. Okay, I don't love that. All right, so let's think about things here. We really don't want our opponent to... I guess if I have access to dress down, so if I really have to, I can flash in dress down. So we're just going to wait and chill. Okay, end of turn. Let's cast dress down. Yep, I'm going to put a land into play. Of course, I will play a Phyrexian Dreadnought. Then I think I cast Stock Up here to see as many cards as I possibly can, right? I just want to try and find a counter spell of some kind. Wow, nothing. All right, well, we're going to get a Lotus Petal and another Dreadnought. These can go back in any order. I don't care. All right, we're going to play the Lotus Petal, and at least if things go sideways, I can brainstorm for a Force of Will, maybe. Don't super love this plan, but it is the plan we have. All right, we got through another turn. Got that Force of Will we were looking for. Huh. Let's think here. Yeah, we're not going to make a creature. That's not going to happen. We will do a Lava Spur Boots now. Let's ponder. Null Drifter. Let's any order. Okay, so we didn't get the thing that will end the game immediately, which is, a bummer, but not the end of the world. Might as well suit him up, attack, and then we'll play a land, and we'll pass turn. Chrome Mox resolves. Chrome Mox resolves. I'm going to Force of Will that. I hate that. Yeah, that is what it is. We kind of knew that we could get cheesed out at any point in time. They've got it. Let's go to the... We'll see. Maybe I can get them. Turns out I should have played the Phyrexian Dreadnought off of the Lotus Petal. Let's see here. Let's look at the graveyard and see what we got here. Uh-huh. Spirit Guide. I don't see... Where am I looking here? There's Poxwalkers. He's no cards in hand. Okay, let's... Just in case, right? It's probably not good enough. We got it. Amazing. Close. That was close. I thought we lost. Okay, so Clarion Conqueror comes in, right? That'll stop the Undercity Informer. Bring in a Memories Journey. We'll bring in a Force of Negation. I like Meddling Mage here. I like Grafdigger's Cage here. The rest of these cards are kind of superfluous. Swords Plowshares is not really what we're trying to do. But remember, this deck can produce a giant fatty. Unfortunately for them, our giant fatties are gianter. So maybe we keep a couple of Swords to Plowshares in. Let's remove one Toper Orb. Man, Toper Orb is actually good. Well, let's remove one Null Drifter here. 1, 2 stock ups, Ponder, and oof. All right, we're gonna take out 2 Swords Plowshares. I'm always worried that this deck is gonna pivot into like play your 7/6 on the first turn. All right, so I have a Force of Will and a Brainstorm, and I mean, what else can you really hope for here? We're gonna keep. They're going to 6, seems like. They're going to 5. First turn, land, Thoughtseize. You got it. I get Thoughtseized. They take a Force of Will. All right. So, turn ends. I will start with an island, and I'll pass turn. Started at 5 cards. So, we have a grip at least. Okay, they're going to not take the damage on that one. End of turn, we will Brainstorm. Got that Force Negation. That's nice. Okay, so let's do land. We're going to put a Polluted Delta there. And I think it just makes sense for us to fetch now. We don't want to see that Plains, obviously. We'll get a Meticulous Archive, right? Throw that Plains into the graveyard. And we're going to Brainstorm. Nice. Okay, so Clarion Conqueror is kind of great. Let's put back... Well, we're going to put back a land and a Clarion Conqueror, because we want to cast Clarion Conqueror next turn. That shuts off Undercity Informer for us. Duress. Rough. They get to duress us. This is a perfect situation for us to be duressed because Force Negation and Force of Will are on the stack. Will they be taking damage here? Ooh, I don't like that. That feels a turn late. Okay, great. So they don't have the mana to make this work, I don't think. Guess what we're going to draw? How good does that feel? Clarion Conqueror stops Undercity Informer. Now they're drawing dead. Thoughtseize resolves. They're not getting 2 cards. Stock up. All right. So I'm going to play the Tundra and just chill after I attack. Of course, I'm attacking here. Don't want them figuring it out late. But right now, there's not a lot that they can do to... Yep, we got there. Good. Good. You know what we hate? Oops, all spells. Stop playing that deck. Rude. All right, we made the play again, so we're going to take it. Of course. Ooh, Toper Orb. So we could turn 2 this Dreadnought, which would be sick, with Force of Will backup. We're going to keep this. I like this a lot. Mulliganing to 6. Okay, mulliganing to 6. So we'll start with a Polluted Delta, a Lotus Petal. We're going to get a island here. We'll play a Toper Orb. We will Force of Will this if we have to. Okay, so that got into play, and we will pass turn. We'll be sick if this is another Oops All Spells deck. We'll find out in a second. Nope, Misty Rainforest. Someone else interested in playing fair-ish Magic the Gathering. We love to see it. Fetching, Underground Sea, Thoughtseize. Do I hate that? I sure do. We're just gonna do it. Watch them have Fatal Push, and I will feel like a big old dummy, but why not just try and cheese one in, right? Okay. Fatal Push is gonna make me feel really dumb. Thoughtseize, you get nothing. You get nothing. All right, I'll untap. Okay. I'll attack. Why not, right? That's what we're here for. Oof. Here's the Fatal Push. Brainstorm. It's just a Brainstorm. Nothing to worry about here. Putting my opponent to 4. Did they draw the thing? Another Brainstorm. You got it. Got that one. Okay. You got to slide on through sometimes, right? Okay, so We don't really have any idea what our opponent's doing aside from they're on Brainstorm and Thoughtseize, right? We can guess they maybe on some kind of a show and tell blue black reanimator situation. We have no idea. Um, let's bring in some Hull Breachers for like a fun gotcha moment. Let's get rid of one swords, one Toper Orb, and one Null Drifter. Okay, we'll try that. Okay, I like this because it has all my favorite cards: Stock Up, Ancient Tomb, and Urza's Saga. So we're gonna keep it. Polluted Delta. Fetch, Underground Sea. Ponder? No, Thoughtseize. That's fine. You want to take my Dreadnought? You want to take my Stock Up? Take the Stock Up. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. Let's start with an Urza Saga. Pass. We have a lot we can do here, and I think we're in a pretty good situation. We can pressure them with Urza Saga, which is the plan right now, and I can get a Grafdigger's Cage just in case they are a Reanimator deck. I'm starting to feel like they're not, though. We're going to find out pretty soon, I'm sure. Ponder, Shuffle. Love that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow this to go up. I'm just going to play Balance Tomb and pass turn. We're going to be on the Saga beatdown plan until further notice. It's a plan my opponent sort of has to respect. We haven't seen anything but cantrips and Thoughtseizes out of our opponent, so we have no idea what deck they're on yet. Brainstorm. Brainstorming for a wasteland, I bet. What's going to be amazing is me getting to play a land next turn. If they do that, I can dress down, stock up if I want to. Sorry, dress down Dreadnought if I want to. I want to call that a negator so bad. Phyrexian negator, but it is a Phyrexian Dreadnought. Taking some time to think about this brainstorm, which tells me they did not get what they were looking for. A Cavern of Souls. Naming Wizard. What wizard are we playing here? Thassa's Oracle. Interesting. That's such a weird choice to play, a Thassa's Oracle. Getting me so nervous. I guess I'll allow it. Just playing it as a blocker. That is wild. So we're looking probably at Doomsday now. All right. So I think the play here is let's make a construct. We want to keep. All right. We're going to make another construct. I think what we have to do here is put. Do we just do Mox Diamond instead? Then we have more mana and we can cast Dress Down, huh? It's crazy because my opponent is obviously looking for something. All right. I'm going to go with the rush plan here because it just seems like the smartest play is to like get them as low on life as possible and attack. I don't know that that is really where you want to be against me, but I feel like either way, yeah. So it's only going to take 3. So here's the thing: the block tells me that they don't have Doomsday to cast. Playing this could have been like a way to do it a turn faster or something like that, but playing the Thassa's Oracle and then blocking with the Thassa's Oracle tells me that they don't have it. Here's the Ponder looking for Doomsday, I'm assuming. We'll know if they found it if they shuffle or not, right? Whatever they do, they have to win on this turn because casting a Doomsday in passing is not going to happen. They'll be dead to my constructs. We were playing to win and not playing to not die. So if they end up getting it, good for them. I assume that they have some kind of counter magic in their hand to protect the Doomsday / stop my dress down. So I figured this is the best case scenario is to just limit them on turns. But you could easily, go the other way. I just assume that they have a Daze at least or a Force of Will in their hand and are looking for the Dark Ritual or the Doomsday itself. That's why I decided to go with attacking with the Lava Spur Boost construct over attacking with just one construct and having Dress Down, because Dress Down's a trap for me right now because it's soft to Daze and it's soft to a counterspell. Opponent was really thinking there for a second. All right. So they're going to pass turn. All right. Well, I 100% am going to try for the kill here. So let's cast Dress Down. Oh no. Stupid. So dumb. They have 13. So we're going to cast. This will kill them. Really dumb on my end. Yeah. What a biff. What a biff. Yeah, I'm going to pass turn. So dumb. Oh my God. Well, we learned another valuable lesson here. Absolutely stupid on my end. Wow. Probably just open them up for the win here. There's the Dark Ritual. Yeah. Oh God. That feels really terrible. Doomsday, for what it's worth, I think they would have gotten through with this either way with the Force of Will. Force of Will, I wouldn't have had any chance against. Now, I could have stocked up and found a Force of Will to back up my Force of Will. So there is that. Putting them to a lower life total. What would that have put them to? 3? So putting them to 3, they still get to do the Street Wraith play. So we'll have to see how this plays out for them, but I'm pretty sure they've got it. Lesson learned on my end this time. Now, if they're going to go to 6 here, if I draw anything that, well, if I draw a, so they have to win this turn, I think. In their head, they have to win this turn. Now, they don't necessarily have to win this turn because I screwed up. Okay. So, finishing up so they have 2 cards left in hand. Stock up. With only 2 cards left in hand, I think they need another turn, which is a bummer because that literally, that play put me in a bad position. I could have put them at 3 life and then just untapped and attacked. Really did it for them. Oh, we'll see. They might have it. Here's a Ponder. I feel like if you have the Ponder, you probably have the other card you need to win. So we'll let it play out and just see what they're going to do to win. I always like to see a Doomsday pile go off and do its thing. Okay, a Ponder into what I assume is a pass? Okay, Ponder into pass. Right. So, at 6, can we stock up? Let's stock up. Try and make it happen. Oof. Didn't get there. All right, let's do, I guess we could play the Dress Down, right? And have the Force of Will and any order. Sure. Then play a Flooded Strand. I'm going to tap the Flooded Strand for a Tundra. We will. No. We're not doing that. We're going to play it smart. We got a Dress Down. So we have a chance. This was actually a best case scenario for us. Okay. They're going long game against us here. All right. So we have a Force of Will and a Dress Down. So we're doing actually really good here. All right. So let's think. We're going to make a guy, of course. And we shouldn't have made a guy. We could have just done the Phyrexian Dreadnought there, huh? That's a bummer. Okay, so we'll do a Lotus Petal just to have that as an extra thing. And we're going to pass turn. We don't need to do anything silly here. We can just cast Brainstorm. You got it. Brainstorm away. With the Dress Down in our hand, we're able to stop their Thassa's Oracle. 4 mana for Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. We're going to counter Jace. We will Brainstorm in response to that. Probably Brainstorm again, huh? Doesn't matter what we put back, right? Okay. Then we need to see one more card. Nope. Did not get there. We'll put back the Null Drifter. We had several ways that we could have won this, guys. There were several ways that we could have won this, but we did not. All right, they got there. Let's begin sideboarding. All right, so let's put Meddling Mage in. I like Toper Orb again back in the deck. We'll bring in the Force of Negation and the Force of Wills. Let's take out, we don't need that. We only need one Phyrexian Dreadnought to get home. I don't think Clarion Collar is where we want to be. Let's see here. Don't need Swords to Plowshares. If the plan is to pivot and go Swords to Plowshares versus my deck that's got much larger creatures, then, you know, whatever, you got me. We're going to be on the play for the third game. Ew. Ew. That's no good. We're going to mulligan that. I guess this is fine. It's not where we want to be, but we have lands and spells. Would have really liked to have gotten a Toper Orb against my opponent. All right, we're going to put the stock up back. And let's start with a Polluted Delta. We'll probably do a Meticulous Archive fetch. Wow. Well, let's start with a Tundra, and we're gonna brainstorm and hide what we can. Daze! Wow. Okay. Well, I think the opponent is going to get my stock up. Pretty good. Stock up goes away. Man. Rough. Well, we will take the Spell Pierce if we have to. And we'll play a Lotus Petal just in case. And we have access to Spell Pierce and Swords Plowshares for whatever it's worth. Literally the one that I sided these out because I didn't want them, but you know, what are you going to do? Underground Sea and a pass of the turn. So now I can make constructs and begin in the punishment. So there is that. I have that going for me. Brainstorm resolves. We'll always allow Brainstorm, for the most part. Flooded Strand. Duress is going to get there. I'm not going to spend mana on a Spell Pierce that they're going to get to cast just to see the rest of my hand. Okay, end of turn, we are going to search for a Tundra. We're going to use that Tundra to make a construct. We are now on the straight up, ugh, what a gross situation for us. Not great to be here. I think we have to get the Lava Spur Boots and just make everything be about close this game out as fast as we possibly can. There we go. Attacking for 9. It ain't pretty, but it's what we got. Wow. You hate to see that. They're like, I don't even need to see any more cards. Ponder. We'll know where we stand when my opponent ponders and just and shuffles. If they shuffle, we're in great shape. If they don't shuffle, we're in probably not great shape. But they are looking for something. So that we got that going for us. Shuffles their library. They didn't draw it. We win the game, I think. Look for a land. Got a land. Okay. All right. Not mad about that. Another we're playing with 2 and we keep drawing them. All right. Well, we're attacking. Do you have it? Some way to stop me? Maybe you do. Dark Ritual. Okay. Okay. We got there. Dark Ritual, tap a blue land, and die. All right. We won the die roll. This is underwhelming, but good against the field, I think. So we're going to try it. Let's keep this right here. This is basically a Molda 6 with the Mox Diamond. And we can Mox Diamond, Ponder, and then hold up mana for a Brainstorm. Hopefully getting rid of... Actually, we should probably... So tough. Mulliganing to 6. All right, so we're going to start with a Mox Diamond. We'll get rid of this Delta. And we're going to play the Flooded Strand and Ponder. I think we shuffle these. And we still got a Flooded... Rough. All right. Hopefully... Okay. A Urza Saga hits the board. Urza Saga, Lava Spur Boots. Respectable. Now what I gotta ask is my opponent playing the same deck I'm playing? We'll play a Meticulous Archive. We're gonna put that into the graveyard. Spell Pierce hits the yard. Untap. Another Flooded Strand. Let's go ahead and Brainstorm. Okay. Let's put these Flooded Strands here, and we're gonna pass turn. We have the Dress Down to get rid of the... There's the Ancient Tomb. To get rid of these if we have to. So that's not the end of the world. Yeah, we can... We're not even worried about it. Let's just get rid of that now. If that's their whole plan, that's fine. We'll get a Tundra. Let's play the Dress Down now. We really want a card off of this Dress Down. That's why it's ideal to play it now. And a Force is fine. You're going to hit me for 5. Taking the 5. Emery, Lurker in the lock. Spicy. Wow. Okay, well, let's hit Emery now. There we go. And this is the fun part. Watch this. Watch as my opponent removes the lava spur boots. You got it. Hitting the... All right, now. I think this will work. We're going to hit that and equip. It just stays on them. Okay. It is what it is. You know, you can't get all the value, but Urza Saga's are big boys. Okay, that's rough. All right. Let's get rid of this now before they draw something that stops me from getting rid of it. Pay that. Okay. Okay. It's not great. We don't love it. We're probably going to die to Urza Saga, which, hey, live by the sword, die by the sword. Am I right? Yep. I'm at 3. I don't think that there's anything I can do here to stay in this game. That's an especially smashing hand from the other Urza Saga deck. Torpor Orb's not going to do it for me. All right, let's go to the next game. Wrath of the Skies is especially good against this deck. Let's see. Consign to Memory's probably fine. Let's play a couple of Hull Breachers and just see how that runs. To that end, I think we can afford to have 2 less Torpor Orbs here. Do I care about Force of Willing a lot? I really don't. And Swords of Plowshares is fine. Actually, we want to keep the swords in here. Let's remove 1 stock up. And Grafdigger's Cage is not going to affect anything. Yeah, I think that's what we've got here. We have several ways to get rid of the Urza Sagas with Dress Down. Would I like to play first? I sure would. I mean, yes. Let's try it. We're going to keep this. Pluto Delta pass. There's an Urza Saga. Of course. Right on time. Another Lotus Petal. After a Lotus Petal. Emery. Lurker in the lock. That's fine. Because now I have a plan, right? I can go ahead, get a Tundra, hit Emery, untap, play a Flooded Strand, and pass turn. That goes to 2. Of course, there it is. All right. End of turn. I will cast Dress Down. Will they let it slide? All right. Dress Down hits the board. I untap. That's amazing. All right. Let's play Phyrexian Dreadnought. Let's then play another follow-up Phyrexian Dreadnought. Hopefully that's good enough. We're living the dream right now, people. Well, you don't want to... Okay. I was like, you don't want to do that. Yeah, you do want to have a blocker, I suppose. That is the thing. Like, here's where you need to get a... What? Aether Spellbomb? Bounce one of my Phyrexian Dreadnoughts? Mox? Opal? Into Urza Saga. Okay. The One Ring. Boy, we sure do hate that. But that's going to get him a turn or 2. For sure. All right. We'll untap. Okay, great. So we have that. Let's cast stock up. I think is the best thing that we can be doing here. Cast stock up. We will get our own Hull Breacher is very funny. Let's do our own Hull Breacher and another Phyrexian Dreadnought, I suppose, which is probably incorrect, but like we can't attack through their protection thing. So we just have to hold up this Force of Will and hope they don't get to do even more. Question is can they get enough to get there a second time? It's going to be tough. Drawing 2 off the One Ring. Okay, here we go. Into our turn. Let's just attack. I think that's the baseline here is we want to just swing it on the opponent. You got it. You go ahead and make a construct. Don't think that's going to be enough to keep you in the game, though. Repeal. I will counter that if I can. There we go. Got that one. Keeping with the exact same plan, I think. This was fine. Okay. I'm all right with this as an opener. So we're going to keep it. I don't love it on the draw, but Spell Pierce seems to be pretty good, and having the swords to just stop their Emery shenanigans is quite fine. Grindstone. Grindstone hits the board. Mox Opal hits the board. All right. Polluted Delta Pass. It is. Balin's Tomb. Wow. So many things. We will stop that from being a thing that you get to do. Tundra. And the plan here is to spell pierce the One Ring. Thank God. Untap. Huh. This is hard. They have 3 cards in hand. They need... What do you think? Do I go for it? I think I just go for it. You know? You either live long enough to be the hero or die. No. We deserve better. We're just going to put the Topher Orb into play and pass. Great. Yeah, we're definitely getting rid of that right now. Okay, so thank God. Actually, let's not do it that way. We're going to take the damage because we want to have access to Brainstorm and to Swords to Plowshares. Sink into Stupor. Let's Brainstorm. Sick. So that will resolve. Let's put back the Brainstorm and that, and then we are going to cast Dress Down, and we'll pass turn, and we'll pray to God. Will this get us there? Did we tap out like dumb morons? There's the Painter's Servant. So shitty. Well, you know, what are you going to do? And the opponent mills us out. Stark. All right. We'll untap and die in our draw step. Well, looking at the deck, it has everything that I want in a deck. I've got a fast way to win. I get to play the control elements that make me feel like I have some agency in the game. I would definitely run a couple leagues back with this just to learn the ins and outs of the deck a little bit better. We could have 4-1'd here. We could have even 5-0'd. We had a pretty solid run. Those 3 games in the middle were really intense. So I don't know. We've learned a lot with this deck. Like I said, I think I might check it out again. If Nadu catches a ban in the future before Eternal Weekend, this is kind of what I'm leaning into as far as what I'd probably play. Yeah, comment below what changes you would make. Did anybody get a punt count? I certainly did a few times. So if you want to comment the number of times I punted, go ahead. If you got the answer right, we'll send you something. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the flip. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to this channel and do your part to help sustain the legacy content ecosystem. Just subscribing to this channel goes a long way to reminding YouTube that people love and support this format. Now, if you really want to go the extra mile, you should think about supporting us through Patreon. Both the links for subscription and Patreon are right here. And if you're listening on an audio format, you can go to patreon.com/eternaldurdles. Thanks so much for watching.